live at 5. Gonna do some candle reveals and do this week's giveaway drawing and show the giveaway for next week. I'm also gonna show a few of the candles already got posted out this morning that were made over the last couple of days. I've got candles poured from this morning that will be ready to come out of the mold, and a few poured later in the afternoon that may or may not choose to show themselves. And while I'm live, I'm actually still pouring a candle, so that should be interesting. So if you're watching this at a later time, thanks so much for coming on and supporting artists and small business. So I go live every week on Sundays at 5 Central Standard Time. So we'll just pan the candles that I had already put out on social earlier, on Instagram. And hi Tammy, how was the ballet? So these were already out on social and on YouTube, along with one of the forest phase. I have a couple left of these, and I have not taken any of the candles out of the mold from this morning. Like I said, I am still pouring a couple this afternoon. I bet it was fabulous. Well, right now it's just you and me on here, so just getting these cards out of the way. So take a look at what I got poured this morning. The majority of these are all downloads. Let's start up here. This is a Who Decides. It's a basil and wild blueberry. It's 33, and it does come with a pillar filler. So we'll see what he looks like. Here we go. Still in its raw state. So that will get buffed and cleaned up. Mostly green, mostly teal. I'm sure a lot of the blue will start to show up once I get him buffed. So that, with his pillar filler, is, might as well trim the bottom so he can stand up and cool. How was your meal before ballet? Was it good? All I did was snack during the football game. So I actually have to go get an actual meal after this. I'm going to take a look inside a candle, those who are watching. So these are what were poured today. This one's cooling. And I'm still working on him, so you can kind of see what's going on in there. That's called navigating the maze. He's being built up with some colors. So those we won't get to see today. Cool. All right, let's get that mold out of the way and pull up another one. All right, let's try Dream State. This has got the honey element and some smoked ginger. Hi, Jackie, how are you? Let's take a look at this. There we go. Oh, yeah, he was hot when he got poured, so he leaked a little out of the bottom. Let's take a peek here. This is Dreams. Whoops, sorry, everybody. Just knocked into my own table. Okay. Anyone new to watching? I'm a candle maker. Hi, Fat Cat. And I don't use any kind of chemicals. They're all natural. And what we call birthing candles on Sunday afternoons, live at 5 every Sunday. So you guys get a sneak peek at what I've made through the week. And then we do a giveaway drawing every week. So that came out pretty nice. It was Dream State. So you guys get to see them before they go up on the website. That's basically what that is. I'm going to snip him so he'll stand up. So we just kind of taking a look inside the artist studio, and I am, like I said, I'm still pouring because I poured this morning and then I poured this afternoon because, yep, I did watch some football. So, came right in the middle of my pouring time. I wouldn't call them vegan. I like that idea, but they're sustainably sourced waxes. The majority of them are palm wax. There is some soy. The challenge with soy is it's actually not all natural, so it's very rare that I end up even utilizing it in any form. Usually it's a backfill because it's too creamy. The candles are clean scent, so there's no phthalates, just no chemicals. And the colors I use are pigments, so yeah, no chemicals. And then cotton wicks. I don't even have zinc core wicks. All my wicks, see that? They're cotton. There's no metal in them. Been doing this about 26 years. Oh, you're welcome. All right, so this is What You Tell Yourself. This has got spearmint basil. This is going to be 11. I'm very excited to see this one, actually. This is the one I've been wanting to see all day. It should look like an explosion of color. Welcome, Moon Void. Whoa. Yep, that's what I wanted to see. So they cure for about 24 hours, just so you know. And then I go at them with a blade. Basically, I'm painting with wax while I'm working. And then I think if anyone's watched any of the videos on the YouTube, sometimes I do a time lapse to show because it can take hours. And I actually go through after they've cured. And it actually ends up bringing out, my thumb out of the way, more of the color. I used my father's blade, who was a sculptor and toy designer. Everything's got energy, so anyone on here wondering about that. So this was my father's knife, and I have a photo of me with him utilizing the knife when I was a tiny little girl. When I curl up wicks on the Whimsies you see sitting over there, everything gets wrapped with a vintage polka dotted pencil, because I think if you have polka dots, it's happy, and you can't not be happy with polka dots. The white that you're seeing, this fabric sitting here, these were Mom's 100% cotton sheets that she had in a big old chest. And I've got hopefully enough to last till I'm not on the planet anymore. So they get wiped with cotton, they get buffed with blades, or sorry, sculpted with some blades. And then I am still pouring because I got a late start. This one's cooling. This is the one I'm working on. I'm just going to check him again, see if he's ready for another round, and he is not. So that's good. Okay, let's look at another here. Get these molds out of the way. So sometimes I work with decks. Right now we're working through the Forest Phase series. I was showing these. Most of the time it's downloads. And these are what's coming up. Very curious about some of these. I don't know why I got people's eye colors. Oh, she enjoyed. That's good. I also use vintage molds. Good energy all the way around. Okay. And that makes me happy. I'm glad she liked her candles and the wrapping. All right, so I may as well show these. So, the Very Harper. And all I kept picturing in my head was a dance floor. I know this sounds silly, but I'm like, okay, just picture a strobe light and a dance floor. If we're gonna have music. Child of the 70s. Don't mind a little disco now and then. Let's see how we did here. We've got 2 small ones and 1 large one. Sticky putty here. Good heavens. It's still a little warm if it's got sticky putty. I apologize. Like, seriously, that is stuck. So he's still going to be hot. And there's one of them. And let's see the second one. So these are the Fairy Harpers. Elderflower, aperitif, and a tomato vine element. So there's 2 babies on these. And then I'm made a larger one. Let's see how these came out. Always curious. Can't ever decide what I enjoy more, making them or taking them out of the mold to see what they did. Whoa, okay. Can tell he's still hot. The color will lighten up. Okay, so there's 2. I'm gonna get another towel over here for these. They are hot, hot, hot. Okay, little guys, come over here. There you go. And the big guy, let's see what he looks like. All right. See how he came out. There's the big guy. So same scent, the elderflower aperitif with the tomato vine element. Will be 14. That reminds me of someone dancing and their hair up in the air. Kind of like those trolls, Tammy. Remember those trolls? He came out pretty nice, and he is super hot still, so I'll lay him down. And those are the fairy harpers. Here we go. Scoot up here a little bit. Look at a couple more. And we'll do the drawing for this week's giveaway and show what's next giveaway. All right, let's get him. It actually did smell pretty good. It smelled a little, the aperitif reminded me a little bit of alcohol though, like wine. This is elements, so straight apple, straight arugula elements, meaning there's no other like combined scents. I don't use anything with like perfumes either. So one of the companies I use started just doing straight old elements without any additional stuff, which allows me to create the scent I'm looking for with the intent. All right, so what matters? Whoops, it would help if you took the band off there, Trish. There we go. Pardon me. Now that smells divine. Who knew arugula and apple went together? Is it me or does that look like a bat? That came out nice. Yeah, I like that. A lot of that may end up going, I bet. So once the knife gets to it, it'll start showing off some more color. All right. I'm gonna set him back there. Okay. That out of the way. Let's see if this one's ready to come out. Okay. All right, a couple more here. So this is called Floating Stairs. It's got the element of cucumber, so it's not sweet. It is like you're slicing a cucumber, and white tea, which is a little bit on the sweet side. So it's going to have a pillar filler. And we call them that because people who like to work with the candles sometimes want an additional burn, so they drop that into the burn. Once it's burned down, you can slide those in there. Keep it going, or it's more energy. Here we go. Let's try this guy. And he's still warm. I poured him this afternoon. We'll see if he comes out. Okay. Came out pretty good. He's still super hot. I'm gonna lay him gently down. Whew. So that will be Floating Stairs. It does actually. See if I can. It has a lovely smell. So you get the bite of the cucumber with a little bit of the sweet. That came out really nice. That's going to clean up well with the blade. And by that I mean so they can come out of the mold. Let me show you this one, for example. This is called false feathers. And somebody asked me to explain what that meant on tonight's live, so I will. So you couldn't see all the detail before. And then I'd take a blade so that you can actually start seeing a lot of the detail created. So that's false feathers. This is already up on the website. Pardon me. Cactus flower. Someone wanted to know what that meant, and I'll explain it because I think it finally actually hit me what it meant for me. I rarely have a download about a dream, with a dream. It's usually something else, and I had a dream a couple nights ago. It was very bizarre. And in it, someone was selling turkeys, and they were in this open pen, but they'd put turkey costumes on the turkeys. I'm standing there, I'm trying to understand what that meant. I knew it had significance, and so I'm staring at it. Why would someone put a turkey costume on a turkey? Just kind of makes sense. When I start thinking about this afternoon, I'm like, well, wait a minute. You can put a costume on anything, and it's still going to be what it is. So putting the same costume of what it is on it, it's still going to be a turkey. So you are what you are. I guess that's kind of what I took from that anyway. So anyway, that kind of shows about the blade. Some of them actually don't need it. Like this was called Elephant Tears, and it did not, pardon me, want a blade at all, except to the top. So you could see its little polka dots. And then this guy, he was spun out there. I love him. This is called Wrapped Around. So there's your holding, and then there's your wrap right there. I thought that came out pretty nice. Okay, so those are the new ones. And I'm pretty confident the progression that I poured, he's really hot. So he's in this mold, and he was a progression of aqua to sky blue up to a royal blue, but he won't come out till tomorrow. And then go take a peek over here. He's looking like he wants some more wax, so I'll get to that in just a minute. Let's do our giveaway and show you next week's giveaway. So this week's giveaway, and this is how this works, is people who spent $25 or more on the website from Sunday, anytime on Sunday, to the following Saturday, so the day of the live. So today, in other words, we're starting up a new one, but anyone who's purchased today on the website up to next Saturday at the end of day, midnight, name goes in the drawing. And this was a drawing for $25 spent on the website. So this had a value of $38 candle. It has pink grapefruit, some lemon, and whimsies, which those don't know what a whimsy is in the back. These get made alongside the big ones. I've only got 4 little shapes, and I send these out to people with big candles, and these are open intent. So this is the giveaway. It's a community candle. So very positive energy candle. I love this candle. So this is the giveaway, and this is my giveaway bucket. And let's see who's all in for the giveaway. Got Shiny, Lynn, Jen, Diana. Okay. Good luck, everybody. Let's see who wins community candle. Looks like Shiny won. Congratulations, Shiny. I'll notify her that she won. And then for next week's giveaway, a little bit different. And this next week's giveaway is anyone spending $40 or more on the website. So it's kind of a shift, but this is kind of a big giveaway. So $40 or more on the website from now until end of day next Saturday, and we'll do the drawing next week, is a large amethyst. So this It shows you how big it is. About the bigger than a softball. This is this coming week's giveaway. So if those not familiar with my website or how I work, I'm on YouTube on Sundays live at 5. I did a show, Voices from the Swamp, with Sherry yesterday afternoon. So, yeah, the lighting's not great on it. I'll get some in water and clean him up a little bit more. But anyone wanting to see that, you can go follow Sherry on Voice from the Swamp. I've been on her show a few times. And I'm also on Instagram, and I always spin the finished candles to music on there. And my website is the same as my name. Everything's in the description in my bio on YouTube. But that's pretty cool. That's next week's giveaway. I agree, Jackie. Pretty cool. I'll just make sure he's cleaned up and ready. So that will be next week's giveaway. Congratulations, Shiny. And I'll walk through these one more time. Say thanks to everybody for hopping on with me. So a few whimsies I've got to get prepped. So these are already out on the website. I only have 2 of these available. It's large size cups. This is She of the Mossy Bray. Black coral and moss. These are $10. They're on the website. We just birthed Floating Stairs. We just birthed, I'm very curious how he'll come up once he's buffed up. That's Who Decides. There's Dream State. So these will end up on the website tomorrow. There's the What You Tell Yourself, and then What Matters. And then our latest was the Fairy Harper. So 1 big 2. I'm trying to see if I've got a crystal I feel needs to go with that. And then Progression. What I'll probably do is record birthing this one and this one and post it out so you guys can see it. And these are already up on the website. Belief System, Elephant Tears, Wrapped Around. I like Distortion. Came out really nice. And this one, tucked hiding back in here, is Lessening the Hold. So kind of went root chakra reverse. So that is today's live. So thanks everybody for hopping on. I'm gonna get my pots turned off after I get him finished. And oh, you're very welcome. So thanks for hopping on, and see everybody next week. Thanks so much. Have a great week.